Welcome to another episode of the Network for Financial Crime Prevention podcasts. I'm your guest host, Marika Torsdotter, and this week we are joined by some very inspiring ladies in an International Women's Day special we call Women in Financial Crime Prevention. We will have a chance to understand what got these ladies into financial crime prevention to begin with, what aspect they enjoyed the most, if they have any advice for women looking to join, and so much more. But first, some quick housekeeping. If you are not a member of NFCP, you can sign up via our website, www.nfcp.info. Follow us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube channels. Our community exists for you, those who work in risk, compliance, and FinCrime areas in any industry. Keep in mind, we are only sharing our personal thoughts, and in no way what we say today should be taken as legal advice. Hi, Alexandra. It's so
Hi,
nice to meet
Marika.
you.
Likewise, it's Friday, so it's the most beautiful day to have a talk on.
I've been looking forward to it all week. It's so nice to chat to you.
Me too, likewise.
So, to kick us off, how about you introduce yourself to everyone and tell them a little bit what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Alexandra Malakan. I work in Handelsbanken as a governance and control specialist. So primarily I work first line defense with the operational teams of financial crime, but I have slightly multiple role. I do a little of everything, but mostly my main focus is to make local regulations and external regulations into clarity. So I kind of review them and try to operationalize them, work with AMLR. So I have a really broad task of work.
It sounds like it for sure. And I'm pretty sure in that role you touch on technology quite a lot. So,
Yes.
so do you see AI in particular and technology in general changing the compliance landscape?
Absolutely. I think it will change somehow for the better, but I also believe that we have to be sharp and focused and don't think that it's going to replace all of us. I think a lot of people think that we're going to be replaced with robots and AI technology. We're not there yet. I think it's a great tool to help us and to eliminate our time-consuming tasks that could easily be replaced, and we can focus on the bigger tasks. So I'm thinking, yeah, absolutely. If we can be more reactive and becoming more continuous with risk-based approaches, absolutely, we can be more lenient on the AI.
That sounds like a good view to have AI. So it will help us, but it won't replace us.
No, I mean, I think for me personally, I believe that if you're not willing to adapt with the compliance change, AI won't be something for you, and I think you will struggle to follow. We're going in a really fast environment change in financial crime prevention. My personal view is also that the operational part of the world affects the financial crime prevention so much more than it used to. We see everything by the sanctions and how the world is in a conflict with with itself, actually. So we have to adapt all the time, and sometimes we can't catch up. Sometimes we have personal emotions attached to it, maybe, and that's fair. I mean, we are human. But when the regulation comes, we need to change fast, and sometimes AI can help us with that.
So you talk about changes, human emotions, AI, and so forth. Do you see anything that, in your view, the industry gets wrong and you would like to change?
I think how much we underestimate the board's position in financial crime and compliance. I think we really forget how important they are. And I think also they forget how important they are. I believe for quite some time now, we always talked about first and second line of defense as like in a department of its own. And it's like, oh, it's your responsibility. You have to manage it and you have to deal with the risk. But if the entire financial institution don't know about the risks, how are you going to approach them? And I think what the industry sometimes get really wrong, also with the board, is that they're not bringing every employee with them on this train. It's not up to me as a governance specialist, a control specialist, or like a KYC analyst. It needs to be everyone to understand how we together can can be on this train and pull ourselves forward.
Okay, so it's a human aspect of getting everyone on board and also getting the board really on board.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some boards be more into it, and I've seen some people actually don't be into it at all and saying that, yeah, this is a standalone issue. Well, it's not, because we sort of either lose money or be stable in the income. We don't make money. Financial crime prevention has never been an income department, but we can help you save money, but not losing money on a fine or anything like that. But it depends on how the rest of the company will follow along. We're not that many people.
That's a very interesting take on it. And how, like, if you look at your career, you had a broad career, you worked in different roles, you have very interesting aspects from, from not like the center, but outside and in and those things. Have you had in your career mentors that helped you to gain those different perspectives and how to work with your career?
Yeah, I have. Thank you for asking me that, and thank you for the compliments. I had this first mentor, actually, my first part of my career. It was my former boss, and shout out to him if he's listening to this. I always bring this with me, and he was really good at trying to make me better. So I saw the potential in me, and I was always trying to ask the question, why do you think this? So if I had a hunch in a customer transaction or KYC information, he would never encourage me to say, oh no, but this is the answer. He would always say, why do you have that hunch? Why do you feel like that? Because it's not black and white. There's always the gray areas, and try to figure it out. And he said something to me that has always stuck with me, which I hope that if I one day get into a position where I have employees under me, I will say the same thing. But he said, my job is to make you better than me, because tomorrow I am not here. So I really like that. So he was always trying to transfer that knowledge into me and make me become better than him. And I hope to do the same for somebody else in the future. I try to do it today too, but yeah, I think that's stuck with me quite good.
That's a very good advice, and I'm sure you will, and I hope he will listen to this to hear this compliment. He sounds like a very, very, very good mentor to have.
He really was, and I appreciate all of the knowledge and all of the time he gave to me.
Oh, that's sweet. So, if people are watching and feel like, oh, I would like to have someone like that in my career as well, and help me grow in those areas, would you have any advice? I mean, how do you define them?
I think it's a two-way street. I think if you want a mentor, you also have to show that you're interested in this part of the job. If it's operational part of it, if it's the theoretical or legal part of it. But the more interest you show, and I give this advice to the others who are professionals who have been working in the industry, don't be afraid of mentoring somebody, because I think a lot of times, without trying to offend anyone, I think a lot of the times we're afraid that somebody's going to become better than us and take our job. And that's not necessarily the case. We don't have the same interest, even though we can be quite as good as we are in our jobs. But sometimes we have different directions we want to go in. It could be somebody wants to know about crypto, somebody wants to know about counterterrorism. It depends, but don't be afraid of taking somebody under your wing and see them. And I believe that somebody will always be watching how you mentor others and give you additional promotion or clap on the back, something like that, and you will do a good deed. So yeah, it's a two-way street for somebody who wants a mentor and for somebody to actually open their eyes and mentor somebody.
You're so right. It's room for all of us at a table, and we might have different chairs to sit on, but it's definitely room for all of us. So I will continue asking for some advice because I think we're all here. So again, people listening and feel like this is a very interesting area. I would like to join the FCP area. Would you have any advice for women feeling like, yeah, I want to do what Alexandra is doing?
Believe in yourself and never doubting yourself, and ask questions. I think we are afraid to ask stupid questions, but I promise you somebody else is thinking the same question as you are, and it's easier just to ask it. And when I'm with somebody who's a junior or just started, I am more than happy when they're asking question, because it shows me that you're interested and you want to learn. It's more difficult for me when they don't ask question and seems like they understand everything and they struggle when it comes to the task. And yeah, I think don't be so hard on yourself to necessarily have to have the educational background. I have seen so many great people, great employees coming just because they're street smart. And it's a crime prevention work task, financial crime prevention work tasks. So you kind of have to know what's going on the streets. So yeah, I think just be confident and ask questions and you'll get so much far ahead.
I like those advice. In this conversation, we covered we need the board and we need the streets. We need to, have it all to really excel in the role and ask for
Yeah.
advice and give advice.
Absolutely. And I think we've sometimes forget, if we take an example from FBI or CIA or whoever, especially in the US, because they do this, if they get hacked or they see someone who's actually committing a crime, but it can benefit them, it's sort of like an application for a job position. And I'm thinking that to combat financial crime prevention, which is mostly streetwise financial crime or organized crime, you need to have people to understand how they think. So I'm not saying you have to necessarily pick up criminals from the streets, but it would be nice to know about people or employees that know about this and have seen it up close and say, yeah, somebody I knew did this and they told me, or yeah, I can see it because it's in my neighborhood. Sometimes just listening, you will get so much more information.
Listening and the human aspect to it. It's not just like IT in that sense. It's so good. Do you have any final advice for people who are interested in this area to excel in their career or just dive into any specific topic?
Think actually what I want to say is more an advice towards the companies is to let people grow. I believe that we're going towards a time where technology is becoming more and more of our daily life, and that's good. But let people shine in their interest area. And I'll take an example of that. Somebody really wanted to learn about counterterrorism, and it's perfect because if you are interested in learning that, you will become a much more specialist than I would. If I have an interest in crypto and would be forced to learn about counterterrorism, I wouldn't excel at my job because it's not necessarily my interest. And I think, as you mentioned quite some time now in this conversation, is that the human aspect is that it has this operational part of it. So I would say, ask you, Marika, what do you like? What would you like to learn more about in your daily life or in your work life in particular? And let's say you wanted to learn about AMLR, the upcoming EU directive. Yeah, perfect. Why would I give you another task if I knew that you had the interest for it and probably will excel at it if you got the chance? So that's actually my advice to the companies to make people more valuable. Well, they are valuable, but to make them stay longer in the company, because it's so easy for them to change jobs because they're not seen or they're not heard. And to my fellow colleagues in the FCP area, fight for your interests, try to have a conversation with your manager, be upfront and open and ask about opportunities or discuss in your yearly conversations or your biweekly conversation, depending how it functions in your company. But have an open discussion as to how can you grow and how will your growth be valuable to the company. And I think we just start there.
I think it's a great starting point. Let them shine. Perfect. I will end on that note. I don't think we can go higher than that. So thank you so much, Alexandra, for joining me today. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciated our chat.
Thank you, likewise. And I wish you an amazing weekend. And to everybody listening, a great weekend to you too.
Thank you for tuning in today. If you're interested in other episodes in this series, you can find them on LinkedIn, on our Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube channels. If you want to learn more about NFCP, you can find us at nfcp.info. We also got virtual and in-person events coming up, thought leaderships from practitioners across the globe, and a growing network of people who understand that financial crime prevention is a shared responsibility, and that it's better when we do it together. Until next time.